What's up, guys? TDAC24 coming back with another World of Tanks tank review. This one being on the Tier 8 Premium Russian Heavy, the IS-6. Now, I'm going to get in-depth with this review and go over basically the gun, its mobility, its armor, playstyle, basically give you guys some gameplay and, go over the weak spots, all that good stuff. So, as you guys know, in my last video, I went over basically the 2-year anniversary of World of Tanks, and I did a Type 62 review. Now I'll give you guys an update on what I'm working on in that line, how I'm gonna go about making reviews in there, and what new videos I'll come out with. But as for now, I'm basically just sticking with reviews. Gonna do this on the IS-6, and yeah, let's get in further detail. Alright, guys, so basically first part of this review, I'm gonna be comparing it basically to a tank that I feel has a similar playstyle, as the tanks actually look fairly similar, and just in the basic tactics and all that stuff, it basically plays the same. Now, as you guys know, I've made an IS-4 review, and in that review, I actually did compare it to the IS-6. Now, in this particular review, I'm going to go in IS-6 to IS-4 this time. Now, IS-4, if you guys haven't checked out that video, go ahead and I'll post it in the description, and you guys can check out the IS-4 video if you guys are looking to get that tank. Now, IS-4, basically, as you guys can see, that's the IS-4, that's the IS-6. Now, it's got basically the same way the hull is going. Not as much armor values, but the sloping and its effectiveness are basically godlike. So, in my opinion, IS-6 is basically the same as the IS-4, just at Tier 8, and with obviously its premium, and I'll get into that in a little bit. Now, basically, as armor goes, it's got the massive sloping. As I've said many times before, look at that. It's roughly, I don't know what degree slope that is, maybe like a little bit more than a 45, not sure. As the IS-6 goes, it's a very well-armored tank. It can take a whole beating. I mean, it's actually, in my opinion, comparable to the KV-5, other than the KV-5's big weak spot, little R2-D2 right there. It could take quite a beating, especially from equal tiers, if angled. Definitely lower tiers. Lower tiers have almost, most of them can't even pen the IS-6 from the front, as it is basically just a sloped machine. Now, IS-6 as a whole, it does have that playstyle of angling, and I'll get into that in further detail later. But basically, as a whole, if you angle this tank slightly, maybe about there, this side skirt and side armor is basically impenetrable. Lots of no damage pens on the tracks. You can still track the IS-6, but it has pretty fast track repair, actually, especially if you get some repair skills. Now, obviously, a little further angled, you're not going to pen the lower glacis even. You're not going to pen the upper glacis, but you may be able to get through the side of the turret if it's not looking at you. But when angled, you want to shoot the IS-6 right in this little part here, as that becomes the flat spot to shoot. So I'll get into that in further detail. That's basically the armor. Armor is very well rounded. 100 in the front, 100 in the side, 60 in the back, all with pretty much amazing sloping. Front has an effective like 220 thickness, millimeters of thickness. Weak spot, obviously, being right in the front, is the driver's hatch, as if you angle, you can protect that a little bit more, but it's still going to be a weak spot. And I find that the mantlet on this gun is not as armored either. I'll get into that, like I said, more detail, the weak spots and all that, but that's basically just the gist of the armored tank, and how it basically can take a huge beating from equal tier and even lower tiers. I've got the stats open right now. And also, I don't think I've actually added this into any of my other premium tank reviews or even normal tank reviews, but, I'll do it. So, as basically what I want to get into right now is the price and whether or not I think it's worth it. But IS-6 as a whole, I love this tank to death. I mean, it's been my most played tank for basically my whole WOT career. But yeah, obviously it's on the more expensive scale, as it is right under the T-34 in low. It's 11,800 gold, as you see right there, and the purchase price. It's basically around like $50. They occasionally give discounts. It's always in the gift shop, never comes out of it, and that's basically that. Now, as numbers on paper go, many people think the IS-6 is very bad, but that's only on paper, as you know, the whole armor and everything. But as you guys, once you obviously get to tier 8 and start playing them, it is a very hard tank to pen. As I've said before, it can take a huge ass beating, and only really downside to it, in my opinion, is the basically just the way the gun goes. Gun is very good. It has great DPM, high alpha, pretty quick reload. It's not like it's almost comparable to the Su-2244's gun, but in a way, Su just has a better reload because it's a tier 7 tank destroyer. But I'll get into that. Basically, as they go, hit points pretty standard, 1,550. It used to be 1,450 a while back and like 7.5, but they buffed it 100 hit points, which is pretty good. I mean, that helps out. Power to weight, pretty good. I mean, engine power is good. Like I said before, it has a similar mobility to the IS-4 actually, just with a better traverse speed. Speed limit 35 on a flat. Goes. It's almost like it's speed governed. It feels like it could go faster, but it doesn't necessarily reach that potential that you think it could go. But it's just how premium tanks are. Whole armor, like I said before, 100, 160. Turret armor, 150 in the front, 150 in the side, 100 in the back. And standard shell damage, this is where it kind of excels in terms of the heavy tanks. 293 to 488 damage is pretty good. That high roll 488, especially if you get good crew skills, that RNG will help. And pen, this is where it really suffers. This is the part I'm going to get into with the gun and how it can only reach 219 at best pen with gold rounds. Or actually, no, it's standard rounds. But gold rounds you can get a little bit more, but it's not necessarily going to help that much. Rate of fire is pretty good, 5.13, especially with Brothers in Arms and rammer events. I'll show you guys that and what my reload is. I think it's around like 9.8 something. Turret traverse, 24, that's decent. I mean, view range and signal range are just standard for a tier 8 premium heavy, 350 and 440. It's the same exact thing as the KV5. Now, that's basically just the stats on paper, and I guess we'll go over the gun next. Alright guys, so right now I'm going to compare the gun. Not compare, but just go over the stats of the gun. And I'll just go ahead and say that this gun is great. Like I said, it has great alpha, good DPM, but that DPM is only effective when it penetrates the target. Now, this gun is good, but frustrating, in other words. So, as you see, it's a 122, pretty big for a tier 8 heavy, actually standard for Russian. But as you see, its pen is pretty much shit. It's got 175 with standard rounds, 217 with APCR gold rounds, and 61 with HE. Now damage, that's where it's going to be good, 390, 390, 465. But also, as I said before, the aim time and the accuracy, 0.46, which is very bad, and 3.4 seconds, which is the same as the T-34 heavy American tank. Which is, I mean, it's doable with that aim time, but the accuracy just makes it that much worse. But in effect, with gun laying drive and avert stab, you also can get Brothers in Arms, maybe like the turret traverse one. What is it? Snapshot with accuracy on turret traverse. Also, you could get a couple more crew skills. You can maybe even switch out event for something. Just try and get the crew skills up. But other than that, you're gonna be working with a pretty good gun. Not the best, not the most accurate, but it's sufficient, especially for close quarters brawling, as this tank excels in that. It's not going to be too bad, so I'll show you guys in the gameplay about that. And next, I guess I'll go over how to play this tank, the tactics, and all that stuff. As I said before, this tank plays similar to the IS-4. If you guys don't have an IS-4, as that's a tier 10, many people don't necessarily have tier 10s, I'll go ahead and just basically go ahead and explain it in words. I mean, I'll show you in the gameplay, but you get the picture. As this tank goes, it's a heavy. It's going to be in the front line, brawling with targets, mainly other heavies, a couple support mediums, maybe some drum loaders, other things like that usually swarm in the heavy pack. But you want to use your angled armor to its potential, as you guys want to angle as you're shooting other targets. And aim for weak spots, as this gun does have bad pen. If you guys get a chance, you want to go ahead and flank, maybe face hug targets, get right up against them, scrape them, and basically shoot them in the ass. If you guys cannot do that, rely on your other heavies to whittle them down, also support you as you basically make your way up through the heavy push and get to that choke point. So it's very good at defense also. If you guys are feeling that you need just to hold down a separate area, and the tanks just aren't pushing enough, their team is pushing too much, you could basically play the defensive role and just basically stall and take out tanks that want to go on the aggressive on the enemy team. So yep, that's how to play this tank. I'll get into the gameplay after this, but first I want to go over crew skills, what to run on it, and weak points and stuff like that. Alright guys, so this is going to be basically the net income for the IS-6, and as you guys basically probably heard before, the IS-6 is worth the money. It's 11,800 gold for a tier 8 premium. Yeah, it's a little bit expensive, but for the most part, I love this tank, and it's definitely worth it. But as a disclaimer, I'm going to say that the only other downside besides the low penning gun is the net income. Now, as you guys can see, the effects of premium accounts and all other basically events, like if you get steel wall, you get 20,000 extra credits or stuff like that when those events are going on, have been removed. It's just the credits after repairing, after shells, after consumables, all that stuff on average. Now, these have been tracked through the last week, or actually last day, my bad, as that's how many battles people have played in them throughout the NA server. Now, 3 of these tanks you can't even get. The Alien Head, M6A2E1, the KV5, it comes back every once in a while, and the Type. So basically, as a whole, after all the net incomes and everything, or repairs and whatnot, you get on average 16,780 credits. Now, that being said, isn't too bad. That's actually very good compared to all the premium tanks are very good, but I mean that's good. It is the last, or worst rather, tier 8 premium tank at making credits, but if you look at it, it's only what, like 5,000 less than the Yag Tiger, 8.8. So in that case, if you were to play 20 games in the Yag Tiger and 20 games in the IS-6, it'd take those 20 games just to make 1,000 or 100,000 extra credits. Now in the long run, that'll add up. But if you're using the IS-6 for multi-purpose, just for experience, crew training, and credits, and just to have fun, it's definitely worth it. I love this tank. I'm definitely going to go over the weak spots next, just so if you guys are facing one, you'll know how to shoot it, and all that stuff. But as a whole, I just wanted to show you guys the net incomes, just to show that, yeah, it is the worst tier 8 premium at making credits, but it still is worth it. It's a great tank. Alright guys, so as the crew skills go, I train this, I train this commander in my IS-6 as it is basically my IS-4 crew, but before I got the IS-4, it was the IS-6 crew. So this commander has been in basically 3 games away from 1,000, same with all the other guys. But that's pretty good. I mean, it's trained for my IS-4, but I crew train in my IS-6, which is also an upside to this tank, as it has the same exact slots for the IS-4. And it wouldn't be effective for the IS-7 or that other heavy, or like IS-3 or anything, because it has less crew slots than the IS-7, which basically won't be that effective. So I use it for my IS-4, and it's basically just a fun tank. It gets a lot of experience too, but I'll go over the credits and stuff like that later. So basically on the commander, I got Brothers in Arms and everybody, so I'll go over that. As I obviously didn't get Brothers in Arms first, but I retrained to get and just put it first. So commander, I got Brothers in Arms, 6 cents, and then I have signal boosting after, as its signal range is only 440. Next, I'll go over the loader. I just went Brothers in Arms. I actually should retain safe stowage for a second, and then repairs. I'll do that in a little bit. Now the gunner, I did a snapshot, Brothers in Arms, and repairs, as a snapshot really helps on that turret traverse and aiming while doing that. And next, instead of repairs, you could go with Deadeye. You might be able to go with a designated target. Any of them work. I just suggest Snapshot and Brothers in Arms, obviously. I really suggest Brothers in Arms for this tank as a whole, as it really helps everything. As some of the stats are just, like the aim time and gun accuracy are very bad. Reload's pretty good. Mine's at like 9 seconds now. The gun rammer, and then I'm also going to add a vent and vert stab once I get enough money. So as the driver goes, you really want to get just the basic, like I said, Brothers in Arms, and then you want to go off-road driving, as its acceleration is pretty good. Its top speed on a flat's pretty good, 35, but it's like governed, where it could go faster in my opinion with the horsepower on this tank, but it just makes it realistic. And next you want to go clutch braking, or you can go, other than clutch braking, you can go smooth ride, which increases accuracy on the move. But like I said, a vertical stabilizer can help that, but this will just add on to that even more. So that's crew skills. What I like to run, like I said, I'm going to keep the rammer, vent, and then vertical stabilizer. Some people choose instead of vents to go gun laying drive and vertical stabilizer, but I'm just going to do vertical stabilizer as GLD doesn't really, it helps, but I'm going to be brawling obviously in this tank, so you don't really need a, I'd rather have the reload time and get more shots off rather than have the aim time when the vertical stabilizer already helps that regardless. So that's that. Now into shells. I like to obviously run a lot of gold shells as the pen is pretty much crap on this tank, but I mean I get the job done. I'll show you guys in the gameplay that this is a very solid tank. Obviously you want the majority to be just normal armor piercing. I run 15 of those, and then APCR composite rigid I run 12, and then high explosive I run 3 just for resetting the cap and getting defense points and stuff like that. Now as I'll get into, the gross net profits on this tank is basically not that good, as a tier 8 premium should make a lot of money. It still does, but it doesn't make as much as like the T34 or Type 59 or KV5 or anything like that. I'll show you guys the thing on the internet in a little bit. But as you guys see, the shells are very expensive, as this tank, it makes profit. Obviously it's premium, but not as much as other tier 8 premium tanks go. Purchase price for just normal standard AP round is over 1,000, just over 1,000, which is a lot for a tier 8 tank. Now gold shells, obviously 4,800. That's gonna run you a little bit, and even 600 for the high explosive is a lot. As I know, like the 8.8 Yag Tiger, this thing makes a lot of money too. Look at this. The normal shells are less than the HE shells on the IS-6, but as stated, that's only an 88 centimeter or 88 millimeter gun. But you know, it's a solid tank. I'll go over the weak spots next, and also the net profits before the gameplay. And as consumables go, just the normal, stuff like that. So yeah. Alright guys, so as stated before, I use the IS-6 for basically just the part of converting experience, and also training my IS-4 crew, which my IS-4 is my favorite tier 10 at the moment. Many people say it's underrated. I agree with that, but also people say it's just a terrible tank. But I love the IS-4. If you guys haven't checked out that review, go on my channel. I'll probably have it in the description too. So yeah, as you guys see, the IS-6, I have 123 free experience right now, other than the like 350 roughly thousand that are unconverted. 70,000 of this 123,000 was my IS-6, which I converted like I think 2 days ago. This tank makes great experience if you're good in it, especially not necessarily the credits, but experience wise it's pretty good, because easy tank to play, it does well in pubs. That's just how it is. It doesn't have a multiplier or anything, which I think the Churchill has a multiplier for experience and credits, but IS-6 I don't believe has any. My personal stats: 4 Top Guns, 2 Brothers in Arms, just decent stats. I mean, this tank, my stats are alright. I mean, it's my most played tank, 737 games, as personally, I got this tank when I had only like tier 6s, I think. I had like a KV-1S or like a T150, and I bought the IS-6. It was my first premium, and I totally do not regret buying it. It's my favorite premium still to this day. Now, as you guys see, I've got pretty good efficiency in it. Or that's the 1.6 rather, and also a little bit above average damage. I get 1,067 damage per game. It's like 36 more than average hit ratio. Despite its bad accuracy, I still hit 74% of my shots, which is pretty decent for a heavy tank. Destroyed 644, 0.87 kill death ratio, or not kill death ratio, damage or kills per game. It's basically the same thing. Total experience, I've made 486,128 experience, and average experience per battle 660. As stated, that's very good. That's a great experience multiplier, or not multiplier, but great experience per game. As my KV5 is a little bit more, that number. And so that's basically my stats in it, me as a whole. If you guys want to get one yourself and show me up, go right ahead, because my stats in this aren't that good. My stats overall aren't that good. I just enjoy this game. So basically, as weak spots go, if it's facing you head on and the person's stupid enough to give you their driver's hatch at a straight angle like this, shoot right through it. If they're at an angle, do not aim at the driver's hatch. You want to aim, as you see, the turret slopes downward like that. So if they're at an angle like this, you're gonna have a better shot at that opposite cupola. Same like this, same thing, as it's symmetrical. You can shoot there. Now, if you have a higher penning gun, which has more than like a 200 pen, if they're at an angle, which most players do, if they're not at an angle, just shoot right through the front of it, right through the lower glacis. The IS-6 should be angled, obviously. Now, tactics of how to get through it from the angle. Obviously, this flat plate right here, it's angled, but you know, if you guys have over a 200 penning gun, you can get right through that. Also, IS-6 being a heavy tank, if they're at an angle and you're in a medium, light, whatever, just perma-track them, get behind them, shoot them in the engine deck, stuff like that, shoot them in the butt, shoot them in the back of the turret. IS-6, I feel, has it doesn't have a weak ammo rack, but it does get ammo racked a lot, but when shot in the back of the turret, as the back of the turret only has 100 armor. As stated before, it has a weak gun mantlet if facing straight ahead. Like T-34s and Yag Tigers and Ferdinands and stuff with high pen guns at tier 8. This Yag Tiger, I mean, not the tier 9 one, but they can get right through the gun mantlet, as it pretty much just sheet metal, just like an overlap. And if you're shooting down at it, like this, basically, if like they're on a hill or something like that, best place to shoot, right here in this flap where it connects to the gun, as that basically kills crew, and also it kills the gunner, and also does lots of damage. So weak spots, recap: driver's hatch, cupolas, sides and back of the tank, and when angled, you want to shoot right here or the cupola. So it just says basic weak spots. Nothing standing out like the KV5, how that has the R2D2, this little thing. Top cupolas and all that good stuff. So IS-6, low profile tank, less weak spots, pretty well armored. You know, only really downsides is gun. In a way, its gun is okay, but it's just the pen's bad. So without further ado, I'm gonna go and show you guys some gameplay, and it's basically what you guys have been looking for, I'm sure. Looking forward to making pretty good game. I'll have that recorded right now. And stay tuned, guys. So today, for the gameplay, we got a standard battle on port. As you guys see, their heavies are outnumbering us with better guns and all that. They've got 2 IS-3s, 2 IS-6s, and a T-34. As I set up around the C-12 line and take the initiative and push there. They also have the 2 IS-3s on their team set up around here at a C5. Get side shots on me. In this clip, or this gameplay rather, I'm going to show you guys basically the durability that the IS-6 has and all the shots it withstands. Now, let me get this started, and as you guys will find out, this tank can take a beating. I can't even count the amount of games that I or amount of shots that I bounce this game, and just for the most part, you know, the amount of shots that I bounce is just insane. And I don't have the after battle report, as this is a replay file, but I do get around 2k damage, and I get 4 kills and get steel wall and cool headed as I bounce a shot, I guess, with like less than 10% or something like that. Now, as the mods go that I'm using, I'll make a video on that. I'm using the AIO mod, zoom out mod, couple XVM mods, and map mod, all that good stuff. I'll have a video on that. I have a whole mad pack that I got from one of my buddies in my Narwhal clan, as basically it's just the RES mods file that has everything already pre-configured and everything. So it's pretty cool. Now already shells that awful Panzer right at the beginning of the game, and he just gets lit up. Now I'm speeding it up just so I can get to the main heat of the battle. As you guys see, we got 3 heavies over here, 2 mediums, super perishing, and normal perishing being the mediums, as there are those IS-3s, and they are going to get side shots on all of us. Now T-32 mans the heavy push, as I eventually go up in front of them. Now as you guys can see, we are really pushing. This starts to be a sticky situation as those IS-3s destroy my cover. As you see, my tracks eat up a shot. Now this is where it's gonna basically show the low pen of the IS-6 gun, as I only get a track shot on that IS-6. And with my 9.9 second reload with what's it called, a gun rammer and Brothers in Arms, I managed to get another shot on and bounce his driver's hatch. Now that's just sad, as obviously the angled IS-6 is basically a monster. The reason being, I switched to gold rounds and decided to try and finish off this IS-6, but as you guys will see, I end up getting a quick shot here, and I shoot in the middle of his tracks and bounce actually under the lower glacis. Now, as I angle, I bounce 2 shots there and get hit by Artie for 81 damage. Now, I take another gold round shot and bounce his gun mantlet, which obviously with IS-6 pen doesn't. That's predictable. Now, as you see, the T-71 pens me, and this is where I get into a sticky situation, as the repairs for the tracks on this is pretty bad. And here comes all the bounces. There's already shot for 94 as 1, 2, another pen no damage, another bounce, and yeah, so that was 4 bounces already that they bounced on me, and 1 pen no damage to my tracks, and another, no, that one penned by the Su-152, as now the Su-152, I thought I was dead here, because he is that instant reload, he's using the 122, but he can't pen me, look at that, he gets a perma track. I pen through his lower glacis. I get shot by the T-71. He actually ammo racks me, as I said before, the weak ammo racks, and he bounces again. I shoot him right in above the driver's hatch in this one, as he bounces. Oh my god, the IS-6 and he bounced, so that's like 12 bounces already. As you see, bounce my upper glacis. Right here bounces my lower glacis, which is quite insane, and I just finish him off, as this tank can take a beating, and I'll show you guys the front of this tank right after this when I go into a free camera view. But this tank, and look at this, he bounces my turret here, and boom, another pen no damage. And that actually was not my turret, that was right on the side right there, on the skirt armor, as I shoot this T-71 and end up killing him, I think, as he kind of tries to run away. I have that quick reload, I end up finishing him off, as you guys can see right here. Just he gets a pen no damage on my track, and this is just crazy. As you guys see, this tank is just, oh my god, I love this tank. It just takes a whole beating. And this is a steamroll. Obviously, as you guys can see, I've already done 1,700 damage. As this T-34 is basically getting on his way towards our cap, but I think we actually have a couple people who end up sniping him out, and I finish him off. So I'm just going to speed this up a little bit. And as you guys saw, the inaccuracy on this gun isn't too bad, as I have Brothers in Arms and Snapshot, so as I turn my turret, it doesn't get too inaccurate. Like right here, just that aim time, as you see, you have to wait and then it aims, but since I have a good crew, I just fire with it, the reticle fully big, and I kill the T-34. So that's 3 kills. These IS-3s are, as I'm just going to pause it right there just so you guys can see all those bounces. Those IS-3s are just done for. They're in a platoon, but, you know, whatever. So that's a pen no damage on the side of the skirt armor, as that and the tracks eat up so much damage on this tank, as you can actually shoot through the tracks. I don't know if you guys know that, but it's a very low profile tank, so if you can actually shoot through the tracks if you get a very low bad RNG roll. Now I get a bounce right to the mantlet, right to the side of the turret, actually a couple bounces on the lower glacis, as one person penned, I think that was the Su-152, and no pens in the engine deck or anything. I did get ammo racked, I don't know where he hit me. I think maybe it just didn't show up. But also another pen no damage right there on the upper plate as the corner comes in. That's probably my strongest part. And yeah, so let's continue this. Now, like I said, this tank takes a beating. It bullies lower tiers, can do well against tier 8s as long as you flank and use gold rounds, but the only thing about it is once you get into a massive tier 9 game, it plays as a support heavy. That's the one thing I didn't go over in tactics wise, but the IS-6 is a frontline heavy in tier 8 games. As you see, his matchmaking is pretty preferred. It does get preferred matchmaking, but the thing about it is if you do happen to get into a big tier 9 game, you have to be support heavy, and that IS-3 gets a no damage bounce on me, which is very funny. So this T-69 shells the IS-3 in the ass, and I basically I hope not to get a no damage pen, but what do you know, I get a no damage pen right in the side of him, which basically makes no sense. Now he ends up getting through my driver's hatch right there for 460 damage, as I should have angled a little bit more, and I just decided to shoot him in the butt. I'm not going to chance another no damage pen. And that's the end of the game. So as it ends up, I did 2,061 damage, got 4 kills. I basically did a great job. As you guys see, I get steel wall. Obviously I don't have the after battle report. I'm sorry about that, but that's the main gameplay, and I love this tank so much. As you guys see, just look at all those bounces just everywhere. And there's only 2 pens that I can see. I guess one lagged out. It was on the lower glacis, and one through the side of my bottom right of my driver's hatch. That was a pen no damage from the T-71. The rest are all bounces. And I think I got penned a couple times in like the side of the turret, but they just managed to disappear because that's how friggin' replay files are. So hope you guys really like this review. For the most part, that's it. And just as a total recap, I love this tank. I suggest you guys, if you were either going for the IS-4 line, you want to use it for crew training, or you just want credits or experience, and you like the heavy type of tanks, and want to get a great tank that has pretty good DPM, great armor, and an okay gun, I definitely guarantee you that you will love the IS-6. So if you guys want to go ahead and just purchase one and give me some feedback whether you guys like it, or if you guys need any help on whether to decide to get it, feel free to contact me in game, YouTube, through Reddit, anything like that. So yeah, hope you guys like this review, and happy tanking.